Is this bad for crypto? Is this not going to work out? Were we wrong? Absolutely not. My name is Coach JB, and what I work to do is to keep people very, very calm and stoic. And how do I do that? It's very, very easy to study history to be able to predict the future. What we're experiencing is nothing new under the sun. Yesterday, they voted no. There was 13 Republicans that voted no on moving the bills forward for crypto. But I'm going to show you Trump went and had a little conversation with him at the White House, and there's going to be a change today. But I want you to think about this for just a moment. Think about this. America has more debt than it has income. Okay. 120% debt to income ratio. We're just going to use logic, and then I'll get into all the facts, figures, numbers, logic. And I'm going to show you how Bitcoin and XRP will be number one and number two. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm doing. And I'm going to show you how we became seven-figure investors and seven-figure outside of investing. We were stoic. We were calm. We were not emotional. We take the middle ground and we study history. This is nothing new under the sun, guys. America's 120% debt to income ratio. All fiat systems change or collapse at some point. Okay. China's at 300% debt to income ratio. Every dollar you own is someone else's debt. They're going to lower interest rates very, very soon, and they're going to print the living shit out of your dollar, making your dollar worth less, worthless. But here's the cool part about it is that you have a once in a lifetime opportunity to invest in the new infrastructure of the financial system that they're moving us into for the next 116 years. Now, why would you say 116 years? Bitcoin's going to be mined for another 116 years. It is ironic that Bitcoin was created in 2009 after the biggest financial collapse in our living history in America. Right at the same time, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa came together to de-dollarize from the West. And then this thing called Bitcoin was created that they told you to run as fast as you could from. They told you it's used for money laundering. They told you it's used for fentanyl trade. They told you it's used for all kinds of dark stuff. And they told you it was going to go to zero. And then all of a sudden, 2023, they flipped. Larry Fink, the largest asset manager in the world, said, I made a mistake. It's actually a flight to quality. And not only is it a flight to quality, but we're going to launch our own Bitcoin ETF. And we're going to launch it in 2024 called IBIT. And now they're the top 20 ETFs in the world, the fastest growing ETF in history. But here's the thing. Remember I told you fiat systems last about 100 years, and Bitcoin's going to be mined for another 116 years. 95% of the supply is gone and only 5% is left. And we've done many videos to share with you. Isn't that interesting? 95% of the supply is gone, 5% is left, but 95% of the public does not have exposure to crypto. And then all of a sudden, Trump runs as the Bitcoin capital of the world and the crypto president. So what you saw yesterday was just a little setback, a pullback, like a slingshot. And this thing is going to release. And those who own the infrastructure of the new financial system and pay attention to what the 1% is doing, this thing is going to fly. And it's going to happen fast. But here's the thing. People, number one question I get, am I too late? You're right on time. You're exactly where your soul needs to be within this process. What you need to do is lock in. What you need to do is get your shit together. What you need to do is study macro, microeconomics, how fiat systems work, why the 1% stay the 1%. They're not focused on storing cash, guys. They're transmuting cash into currency, moving into deflationary assets. They're borrowing against their assets, richest man in Babylon, buying cash flow and repeating the process. So I'm going to break down why yesterday was not bad at all, why we took a deep breath in our Warrior Academy. We stayed calm, we stayed stoic, and we said, hey, listen, this is just a little setback. And let me share with you what is actually going on here. Okay. So first we're going to talk about, well, what happened yesterday? So 13 Republicans voted to not move the bill forward. Okay. Of course, we all had a visceral response. I did a response video on it. We said, hey, listen, they're going to come at 5 p.m. They didn't come at 5 p.m. And then I'll show you the succinct things that happened after that. Okay. So this is what they're talking about. Just say, so if you're new to crypto. So the U.S. House Rules Committee has granted a rule to consider 3 separate bills. Okay. There's the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act of 2025, the Anti-CBD Surveillance Act, and the Genius Act. Okay. So basically by September, Once Trump signs these, banks will have clear rules of the road to operate in crypto. They're already able to custody cryptocurrency. The very banks that told you it's a fraud used for money laundering literally are going to have rules of the road to custody, to trade, to buy and sell, and a framework to operate within cryptocurrency. Okay, where the hiccup came yesterday was the Anti-CBD Surveillance Act. So 13 Republicans, one of them specifically, Marjorie Taylor Greene, said that within that act, it didn't clearly state that the government could create a CBDC. So that was the pushback. Okay. So that was the visceral response we got. Everybody's like, oh my God. And this is what I hope in our channel will keep you calm is our warriors didn't have a visceral response. They're like, part of the process, just a little setback. But people were messaging on Twitter or commenting on Twitter. Should I sell? Is it like, no. Do you believe in what you hold? If you do, hold the line. Don't trip, diamond hand. Okay. If it drops, I buy more. If it goes up, I hold. If it's something I'm going to exit with my exit plan, I calmly pull on the way up. So I just wanted to keep you guys calm. Is this bad? Absolutely not. This is phenomenal time to be alive in crypto. So then we were cruising along and we thought they were going to, at 5 p.m., we thought they're going to reconvene. Fox News said they were not going to reconvene. And then Trump throws this out. Says President Trump says he met with 11 of the 12 representatives needed to pass the Genius Act in the Oval Office. After the discussion, they have all agreed to vote in favor of the stablecoin legislation. So he says, let's make America great again. Okay, so let's listen to what Rep. French Hill, who is really pushing for cryptocurrency regulation and clarity, what he had to say about this.
I guess rumblings that maybe the votes weren't there. And then, the president met with some individuals yesterday. Are you confident now the votes are there?
I believe that we do have the votes to advance the Senate Genius Act, which will create the first federally regulated with clear rules, dollar-backed payment stablecoin.
That is huge, guys. So that's going to save the dollar dominance, okay? I need you to understand how important, ironically, it's called the Genius Act. It's genius. That right there is the main thing that needs to pass. That will tokenize all treasuries. It will reserve the U.S. dominance, which it was about to lose the dominance if we continued on this path. That's going to create a stable U.S. dollar, and then they're going to print the shit out of this, and they're going to devalue your currency. You need to pay attention.
Which will unleash a new competitive round in how payments are done when they're used in a blockchain application. We also have the House's work on market structure, which we've worked through the House Ag Committee and the House Financial Services Committee.
Okay, that's what I wanted you guys to hear. So let's keep moving here, okay? So this is Donald Trump Jr. says crypto is going to be the future of finance, okay? Now remember, who's going to be taking over the heir? Who's going to be taking over all the Trump dynasty? Remember, Trump told you he doesn't like cryptocurrency in his first presidency. He told you it's used. He said the same thing that Larry Fink said. And now he said he was buying it 3 years ago. His sons are deep in cryptocurrency.
Crypto is going to be the future of finance.
Yeah.
Okay. We were doing everything imaginable in the prior administration to send that to other places. People want to be in America. They want to invest in America. They want that stability. What they needed is some guide rails. They needed a framework in which they could work, even for us in the crypto platforms that we were developing, whether it was American Bitcoin, whether it's World Liberty Financial. We didn't get into that because we knew all that much about crypto. We got into it out of necessity because we were getting debanked. There wasn't a person in this city that I couldn't call and get a loan for a real estate project a few short years ago. Then we became Politica, and all of a sudden you're persona non grata. So crypto's the future. To be able to have the legislation to create those guardrails, to be able to keep that industry. This is going to be a multi-trillion-dollar industry, and it should be based here in America.
Boom. It's going to be a multi-trillion-dollar industry. That's how early you are, family. Multi-trillion-dollar industry. You have to let this sink in. What we teach our warriors to do is to build a long-term horizon, accumulate. When it dips, buy more. Pray for bear markets because that's where we can accumulate more. and we get strategic and we create cash flow. We learn how to protect. We learn how to leverage responsibly. It's all about financial freedom. This is your opportunity, warriors. Okay, so this was something Trump posted a couple days ago. Happy crypto week. This house will soon vote on a tremendous bill to make America great. Undisputed #1 leader in digital assets, guys. It's here. Just stay calm. My whole point of this video is to keep you calm through all these changes. There's going to be a lot of hype. There's going to be a lot of FUD. There's going to be a lot of emotion. There's going to be a lot of emotion. This is your future. This is your money. I get it. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful and telling you not to be non-emotional, but that's how you get wrecked. Study Miyamoto Musashi, undefeated samurai swordsman. Do you think he was undefeated because he was emotional? Right? You have to take the middle ground. Bruce Lee, be fluid like water. Jesus sat right in the middle, not too high, not too low. Okay. Breaking, Standard Chartered Bank becomes the first global bank to offer institutional trading for BTC and Ethereum. Okay. New York Stock Exchange, ARCA approves ProShares Ultra XRP ETF. Okay. And this is what I want you to see posted by Good Morning Crypto. The final deadlines. This is going to be the catalyst for XRP, guys. This right here is the spot XRP ETF. So Grayscale's final decision is October 18th. October is going to be massive. 21 shares, October 19th. Bitwise XRP ETF, October 20th. Canary Capital, October 24th. Wisdom Tree is by October 25th. So here's what I believe is going to happen, okay? Is we're going to start to see some bullish movement. Obviously, we're seeing bullish movement. We're going to go into August. We're going to start to see continued bullish movement. The two things you're going to be looking for that are going to be a massive catalyst for your XRP portfolios and your crypto portfolios at large is interest rates going down and the printing of money, M2 money supply. Okay. Jerome Powell's either going to get fired or he's going to lower interest rates. One of the two. Okay. This is phenomenal for the US economy in regards to cash coming back into our hands. What happens is they lower interest rates. You can refinance, get a lower house payment. People can buy a home. Gas prices are going down, egg price. So now you're going to have some cash flow. Okay. The problem is that cash flow you have because they're lowering interest rates and they're devaluing the currency. It's worthless. It's worthless. Okay. So we have to learn to transmute that. So that's the first thing is when rates go down, smart money goes into fixed supply. Bitcoin, XRP, they're going into gold, they're going into silver, they're going into real estate. The working class and middle class, they buy more stuff when they have cash flow and they have lower interest rates. We use interest and we use debt to build wealth. Okay. The working class uses debt to borrow against their future self that they can't currently pay for. And that's how they stay in the debt cycle because everything is debt. Everything is interest. Everything is interest. So if they don't keep you in the debt trap, the whole system collapses. If they don't keep you in the debt trap, the whole system collapses. So you have to learn to get on the asset side and out of the liability side. So when you have newfound wealth in your pocket, I focus on 4 things. Okay. Cash flow. Cash is trash. Deflationary assets that have fixed supplies that can create leverage, which I'll talk about in number 4. I use protection. I use cash value life insurance, which has a couple different components. You're growing my money tax-free. I can borrow against it tax-free. I have protection for my family. And number 4, leverage. So remember I talked about transmuting cash into deflationary assets. I use Bitcoin XRP as my top 2. XRP is number 1. Bitcoin's number 2. So now I have my Bitcoin bank and I have my insurance bank for leverage. Then you can responsibly leverage at low leverage to do what? We go back and we buy more cash flow. So I use cash generating dividends, right? I have multiple companies. So I worked really hard to build my companies to build cash flow. I don't want to continue to buy companies. I want to get passive income. Think about it. And I apologize if I get the numbers wrong, but I want to talk about this conceptually. I think Warren Buffett makes about $2 million a day off of his Apple stock, his Apple dividend. The CEO probably makes about 20 million a year. So Warren Buffett makes in 10 days what the CEO makes in a year. Would you rather be Warren Buffett or would you rather be the CEO? Okay. That's through wisdom that I've learned. I kept opening these companies. I kept trying to buy, I would much rather be the investor. I'd much rather use these deflationary assets like XRP and Bitcoin, where my XRP went up 600%. It's about to skyrocket on the back end of this year. My Bitcoin went up 195% as everybody stored their cash in fiat, fake money. 19% they lost their buying power. Mine grew dramatically, but with the dramatic growth, I buy more cash flow. I'd rather be Warren Buffett. I'd rather be free, financially free. I'd rather other people clean the toilets and manage the team members and do all those things. So being an investor is a powerful, powerful way to create financial freedom. Okay. We take our cash, richest man in Babylon. Okay. First thing you do is you save 10%. Second thing you do is you create a brother or sister. Another concept of is you don't play games with your money. Stay out of the meme coins, stay out of the get rich quick, stay out of the trading bots and all these different things. Be very, very careful. Okay. Remember, you're the exit liquidity. There is no fast way to wealth. Okay. Now we did break a portal, right? Money compounds every 7 years at 10% based on, it's the eighth wonder of the world. Einstein is compound interest. But we opened a portal right now, right? Making 600% on your investment from 2020 is completely out of the matrix, right? So if you like the middle ground, so if you break that money compounds every 7 years at 10%, you get this moment where a portal opens, where there's a transition in a system, and that's where a lot of wealth comes in. You better pull and secure some of that stuff, because remember, what goes up must come down. .com boom, auto boom, oil boom, right? There was people that thought it was just going to keep going. You got to diversify. There's people that are just all in on crypto. They're all in on 401k. They're all in on insurance. It's like, build a moat around your kingdom, man. We got cryptocurrency, very volatile. My top 3, okay, and I believe in these, is XRP, Bitcoin, and Solana. Those will end up being my top 3. My top 6 are XRP, Bitcoin, Solana, XLM, HBAR, and VeChain. Those are my top 6, okay? And I have QNT, I have Algorand, a lot of the ISO, right? The ISO tokens. So I have those, but those are my top 6, my top 3, and I'm going to continue to just keep, that's all I keep buying though, is XRP, Bitcoin, and Solana. Okay, that's part of my portfolio. Then 10% of my portfolio is in high risk dividend ETFs that are paying me the largest amount of return, but I de-risk. So when that money comes in, what do? I take that money because it's the highest risk part of my portfolio, and I de-risk back into Bitcoin and XRP. So you see what I'm doing? I'm creating cash flow with every dime I get. With the cash flow, I buy more deflationary assets that appreciate. Okay. I stuff money into my premiums, my cash value life insurance. When these deflationary assets profit heavily on the back end of this year, I take profits, I stuff it into my cash value life insurance, creating a protection component. And then I have the leverage component. So I have the deflationary assets like Bitcoin that grow. I have the insurance that continues to grow every month with premiums and max funding. And now I have 2 components where I'm the own bank. I'm in first position. That's how you build freedom, guys. Okay. And then when DeFi is solidified and comes in, you're going to be the bank when you own, a ton of crypto and you have all this liquidity and you have all this wealth. So take a deep breath with me. Get your principles in order. Run all your decisions through a principle model. Build your family creed. Mine is God, family, protect your ecosystem at all costs, and stay out of other men and women's business because you're too busy working on yours. That's how I operate. Okay. I'm out of other people's business. I don't care what other people are doing. I care what my family's doing. I care what my ecosystem's doing. And I talk to God every day. And I'm like, God, did I do a good job today? God, please speak through me. Please share information that is going to help humanity. That's our responsibility. That's what we're here to do. What another man or woman does outside my ecosystem is none of my spiritual business. So lock in, family, right? Lock in. And somebody gave me some good feedback on Twitter. I want to say thank you. Often when we see negative comments, we respond to a negative comment, right? When there's all these positive comments, right? That's the devil playing games with you, man. There's no very successful person putting negative comments on someone else's profile. So just ignore that stuff, guys. You're doing great. You're awesome. You're amazing. You're right where you need to be. You're beautiful. You're powerful. You're strong. Say it with me. I am beautiful. I am powerful. I am strong. Head of the household, you got this, man. Don't let them play you. Don't let them take your purpose out of you. Get out of the mind, man. Get into purpose. Let God guide you to your purpose. Don't try to find your purpose. Let higher source guide you to purpose. You got to suffer with purpose before it's necessary to suffer. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox. I have a lot of resources for you guys. I got Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto. Okay, I'm the co-founder and creator of that. We 33,000 lines of code. We built this thing. It is not an investment. We don't hold your crypto. It's not an exchange. It is an interface that keeps you organized, super organized. You can see your daily gains and losses. You can see your average buying costs, and you can actually set up an exit plan. We teach you how to do exit plans in there. You can do 30 days for free. You can play with it, get all set up. Once you get in, you're going to get addicted. It's absolutely amazing. So imagine it's a lot safer too. So if you're traveling, you can use your Merlin to look up your crypto. So you're not going onto your exchange, because someone hacks Merlin, they're hacking information. They can't hack your crypto. We don't hold your crypto. It's an interface that brings all your exchanges, organizes into one place. So you can see everything, has the exit plans on there. So you calmly can exit the markets. We teach you how to do an exit plan, and we have live customer service where you can talk to an actual person. And that's down below in the description of my video here on YouTube. If you're on social media watching this, click the link in my bio. And I think that's all I got for you guys. I love you guys. Warriors. Let's get your shit together. Love you.